Yesterday, there was a massive debate between Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of FTX Exchange, and founder Erik Voorhees, the founder of Shapeshift, another decentralized exchange. I'd also like to mention that Erik used to be one of the team members at BitInstant, which was one of the very first exchanges available to trade Bitcoin. So the guy has been in this market for a very long time. He has an intricate understanding of how this market works, how it operates, what it was founded on. And then Sam Bankman-Fried, on the other hand, has only been in this market for about 5 years. And I have to say, I watched the entire debate, but I'm going to be sharing a couple of clips with you that I found here on Twitter. But after watching the entire debate, it really showed me that Sam Bankman-Fried doesn't really deserve all of the money that he's been given by venture capitalists because he doesn't have a very strong understanding of the market itself, how currency works, how money works, and why money and civil liberties are so important and valuable to the people. He seemed to be able to create a fair argument for why freedom of speech was so important, but when it came to money, he somehow became perplexed by the idea of people having freedom with their money. So let's just go ahead and watch these two clips. This first one that I'm going to be showing you guys comes from Erik, and it's an argument based on the separation of church and state, why that was so important and vital for the American people, and how it kind of plays into this market as well. Let's listen.
Those of us in this ecosystem, this industry, have created essentially a new financial foundation for the whole world. This is a huge responsibility. And the entire purpose of this financial foundation is that all of humanity can use an open, immutable financial layer. We are separating money from politics. We are separating money from the state. And in the same way that the church was separated from the state, and everyone now hails that as one of the greatest things that humanity ever did, we now too, it comes to us to do the same for money. Money is as or more important to people than religion is. We interact with it every day in all sorts of manners. And just as mathematics or language are immutable and open to the entire human race, so too should the exchange and management of money. That is the principle that makes this entire ecosystem important. That is the principle that justifies everything that we do. And if we lose that, it will be something that we regret for the rest of our lives because we had that opportunity.
Very well said, Erik. Very well said. So essentially what he's saying is the separation of church and state is one of those things that is highly regarded in America today because there are a lot less religious people than there were 200 years ago, but they love the fact that the government is separated from the church because you don't have the government intervening on certain religious aspects and vice versa. The church is not making governmental decisions, but in the same regard, why would we not say the same thing about money? Early on in history, people would go and trade and barter whatever they had for something else that they needed. That was completely out of necessity. And that was before governments came in and created monetary policies that people had to use in order to go buy, sell, and trade. Why is it that we have the technology to completely separate it from government, and yet we're choosing not to? The government is going to do whatever it can in order to create as much regulation on this market as possible so that they can be the victors. But we, as the people, have to stand up against that and say, no, we're not going to take that. Let's just go ahead and listen to this next clip. It comes from Sam Bankman-Fried having an altercation with Erik.
If that did mean that, essentially, front ends by Americans targeting American retail had to be licensed, I think that could be reasonable.
Sam, if the question was, let's acknowledge that the email protocol will be permissionless as a protocol.
Yep.
But it was the law of the land in America that every email front-end provider required KYC from its users.
Yep.
Because under the justification that we do not want people sending information back and forth with terrorists.
Yep.
Where would you stand on that position?
Oh, I'd be strongly against that position.
Why?
Why would I be against it? Because I think it'd be like against freedom of speech. I think it'd be disenfranchising a lot of people. I think I would not trust in practice that it would do a good job. So I agree with you on all of that. Okay. I'm making a distinction here between, for instance, payments versus like derivatives contracts.
Why is Aave somehow different than email?
I just want to stop it there for a second because it's so funny to see his mind and how it's kind of shifting as he's talking about this. You can see the wheels kind of turning and him saying, oh, wait a minute. What I'm saying doesn't really match up with what I should be saying. It's very funny to see, and you can see Erik breaking apart his argument piece by piece and saying, okay, let's really break this down and talk about it.
So, why is it different than email?
You argued so well and so passionately to not block email with licensing and KYC. I loved hearing that.
Yep.
That filled my soul with joy. Such good arguments. Why does that not apply to financial transactions?
So, why does it not apply to financial transactions? I think there are a few things here. So, first of all,
that was amazing to see the shift, the dynamic shift. He had nothing to respond to that question with, and Erik did a great job of dismantling this whole idea that regulation is entirely needed. If you go back and watch the entire thing, you'll see the same argument over and over again by Erik that regulation is already in place for the cryptocurrency market. No more is needed. There is tons of regulation out there that encompasses crypto, and that's the argument that he was trying to make. And he even brought up the whole regulation that the state of New York came out with several years ago that just completely shut down all innovation in the state of New York. And the reason that he pointed that out was to show that the more we go down this rabbit hole, the worse it's going to be for crypto. So we need to pump the brakes on all of these talks of creating more regulation and talk about the regulation that's already in place. All in all, I think I agreed with the majority of points that Erik brought up. It was very enlightening to watch Sam Bankman-Fried in his responses to some of these questions and some of these statements that Erik was bringing up, because it showed a true lack of understanding. And so that kind of poses the question of, how is he getting all of this money? Who are these people that are backing him financially with all of these endeavors? These are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do that for me and turn on notifications so you know each time I put out a new video. That's going to be it for this one though. Thanks for watching. Crypto Clay out.